When working with custom flows, one of the most difficult things to do is to make sure you don't break the experience. So if the user already exists and they click sign up, we'll be able to transfer them to sign in. And if they don't exist, we'll be able to transfer them from sign in to sign up. This is one of the most powerful things about Clerk. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can do this in Expo, where creating custom flows is currently a requirement. So here we have an Expo application that's just been set up with a token cache, as well as the Clerk provider with the publishable key. What we have in our sign in, sign up component here is just a button right now that says sign in with Discord and a handler that doesn't actually exist. What we want to be able to do is the user be able to click this button, and it doesn't matter whether or not they already have an account or they're a brand new user. Either one of those should allow them to sign into the application and be able to see the hidden message, which is in our app.js here that says you are signed in. So first, we're just going to do the imports that we're going to need for Clerk. So we can do import, use sign in, and use sign up. We're going to use both of those, and those are going to come from our Expo package here. So at Clerk/Expo. And now we have that, what we can do is start making this handle sign in with Discord. We'll create a function called handle sign in with Discord. And this is going to be an asynchronous function. So we're going to do equals async. This is going to take 0 arguments. We now have a function, but we need to do a couple of things before we allow this to work. So we need to import isLoaded, sign in, and set session. And those are all going to come from use sign in. So equals use sign in. And then we're also going to import sign up, which is the opposite of this sign in right here. And we're going to use sign up. Now, what this allows us to do is essentially handle, dependent on what the user is, whether or not they're usable, we can transfer them into the opposite of whatever this is. So now we have that, we can do a try here, and then we'll do a catch. And then inside of our try is where we're going to start our redirect. So we're going to do const redirect URL equals auth session dot. This auth session allows you to handle things like redirects, for example, in your Expo applications, making it really easy to do OAuth. So what we're going to do is do make redirect URI, and that function is an object that takes a path here. So we're going to set the path to the default, which is OAuth native callback, and that's what we use at Clerk. So now we have this redirect URL. This allows us to then create a sign in request. So to do that, we can do await sign in dot create, and then we're going to create what we want. So here is where, depending on what you're using, depends on what you type in. So for this, we're going to use strategy. And the strategy we're using here is going to be OAuth underscore Discord. Now, obviously, if you're using a different OAuth provider, whatever it might be, it requires the redirect URL. So we can do redirect URL. So now we need to check our first factor verification. So we can do that from our OAuth by doing const first factor verification, and then we're going to use the external verification redirect URL, and that's going to come from the sign-in object. So now we can check to see if there's actually an external verification redirect URL here. If there isn't an external verification redirect URL, it means something went wrong with the OAuth flow, so we can just throw an error message here that says something went wrong. So we can do if, and then external verification redirect URL, throw something went wrong with our flow. Now we've got this check to throw an error message, we can now continue on and say const auth result, and that's the result of our auth, await auth session dot start async, and then the auth URL will be the external verification URL to string, so we can just do to string. And then underneath that, we can do the return URL, which will be our redirect URL that we had in the beginning. Then we can check to see if the auth result type is not successful. If it's not, there's something happened, and we can just throw another error message. So we can say if auth result type does not equal success, then we can throw another error message. So we'll just throw the same one. And now we need to then check for the rotating token nonce, and we can use that to then denote whether or not we should be signing in and reloading, what we should be doing at this point. So we can do const and then rotating token nonce is rotating token nonce, and that's going to equal the auth result param. And then we need to do sign in dot reload with this token. So we can do await sign in reload, and then we can just pass in this rotating token here. And then at that point, we should have a created session ID if everything went well. That means the user has signed in, so we can go ahead and grab that. We can just say const created session ID is equal to sign in. And then we can do another if check here. So we can say if we have a created session ID, we can then set our session to that session ID, and the user will be redirected back into the successful sign-in. So we can say await set session and then created session ID. Then in this else, we're going to check to see if they're transferable. What that means is that we can transfer them to the sign-up flow, because if they don't have a created session ID at this point, this means we are currently in a state of first-time sign-up. We should do an if statement here and say if no sign-up to make sure that we don't have a session already. Then we check to see if this first factor verification here has a status of transferable. So we can copy this word here, sign in dot first factor verification does not equal transferable. So if it doesn't equal this, we can immediately exit out and throw another something went wrong. We can just write a console here and say first time sign up transferring. Then in a similar fashion to what we've done here in the beginning, we're going to do something fairly similar with a sign up. So what we're going to do is do await sign up dot create, and then we can do this thing called transfer and then set it to true. What this means is that we know it is a transfer versus a standard sign up. Then we can take that a bit further and say await sign up dot reload. We're going to take this rotating nonce that's here. We're going to say reload rotating nonce auth results dot params dot rotating token nonce. And finally, at that point, we can then say await set session equal to sign up dot created session D. And then just so that we have a catch here, we can say catch error, and then inside of here we'll do a console log, and we'll do JSON dot stringify error null 2. So let's give this a whirl and see what happens. So as you can see right now, we have no users in our database for this application. So in theory, this sign in button, it shouldn't matter. We should be able to sign in with Discord and it should sign us in regardless. So we click authorize here and it says you are signed in. And as you can see, we have a new user and we've officially been signed up through Discord. So I hope that helped you understand how to transfer a user from the sign in state into a sign up state when they're a first time user who has never logged in. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you're subscribed to the Clerk channel. Of course, check us out at Clerk.dev. And I'll see you in the next one.